Hey, I'm Pa, and in this video, I'm bringing you a really interesting case. I discovered it recently, but ever since I saw it, I really wanted to share it with you all, so I hope you enjoy it. The case takes place in Jackson Township, Ohio, United States. This happened in 2017. The Zhao family consisted of Ming Chen, the mother, the father named Ling Zhao, and their two young daughters, ages 6 and 5. The family's from China, but they moved to the United States for work reasons. And because the mother, Ming, said she practiced Falun Gong, which is the new religious movement that involves spiritual practice. It's a combination of meditation and physical exercises. According to Ming, in China, they were banning the practice, and people who participated in the movement would be punished. So they moved to a hideout. They opened an Asian food restaurant called Ang's Asian Cuisine, and it seemed to be going very well for them. Until January 9th, 2017, when a tragedy occurred. Ashley Zhao, the younger daughter, was 5 years old when she disappeared. It was winter, it was really cold, and that afternoon it was snowing. Her dad called 911 to report what had happened.
I can't find my daughter.
Okay, how old is she?
5. She just turned 5.
The family was at the restaurant when they realized that little Ashley had disappeared.
When's the last time you seen her?
This afternoon probably.
Around what time?
3, maybe 4.
So you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
You saw her at 5?
What was she wearing?
Oh, okay. What?
What was she wearing?
She's wearing a purple winter coat. I don't know what those things are called, but they're not jeans. They're like,
Like leggings?
Yeah.
What color were they?
Grayish.
Okay, and you haven't seen her in 5 hours?
About, yeah. I mean, she was there sleeping. I mean, you know.
Where was she sleeping at? In the restaurant?
Yeah. She was sleeping there.
The 911 operator asks if they saw anyone suspicious or any customer who went to the back area. But he said no, that no customer went back there. Then she asked if any of the employees had seen anything. But he said they didn't have any other employees, that the only ones working there were him.
Do you have any videos or anything in there where you can see a video, see if she was laying there?
No. We don't have any security camera in there. It's just in the restaurant. We've been here for 6 years. We never had security cameras here.
He was saying that he went to pick up his other daughter from school and that his wife stayed with Ashley at the restaurant. But every time he said this, he got it wrong. When he spoke, he mixed up some words and was using a lot of filler words. He would say things like he kept adding a lot of those kinds of...
I dropped my daughter off, I'm sorry.
He said that when he got back from school, everyone saw Ashley sleeping. Him, his wife, and his other daughter. They were all sure that she was in the back.
And I picked up my older daughter from school. We all saw her sleeping there. So, and you know, we went to work and, you know, we let her sleep. We got busy and then started cleaning up. And then, you know, we opened the door and she's not here.
But he kept repeating this many times during the call. And again, every time he tried to say it, he would stumble and drag out words and use a lot of filler words.
Okay. I think I'm sorry.
They had gone about 4 or 5 hours without seeing their daughter Ashley since they left her sleeping in the back. And they were working. They mentioned that around that time, the restaurant gets busy and they were attending to customers. After that, they started cleaning up, and that's why they weren't keeping an eye on their daughter.
All right, my officer's outside if you want to go and meet my officer at the door, okay?
He's here right now?
Yeah, he's already outside.
Police immediately went to the restaurant, where they questioned the parents to get as much information as possible. They asked them for a photo of Ashley and started spreading the information in case anyone had seen her or had any news. At the same time, the officers began searching the area around the restaurant, thinking that maybe Ashley had left the restaurant without her parents knowing. They were very worried because, as I mentioned, it was really cold, it was snowing, and this can be very dangerous for a 5-year-old girl. On top of that, the area around there is wooded, and they were afraid she might have gotten lost in that place. And it had already gotten dark. They searched for her with drones and police dogs. They also searched the family department, which was near the restaurant. They thought maybe she was there, or if someone had found her, maybe they had taken her to the apartment if they knew her. They simply went to check and see if they could get more information or find any clues. But unfortunately, there was no trace of Ashley. Since they didn't find any information, evidence, or clues, they thought Ashley must be inside the restaurant. Maybe she was hiding or in some small place her parents hadn't searched. And this is very normal. Kids often hide or crawl into closets and things like that just for fun, so they thought about where she might be hiding. The detective said he tried to think like a child and look for some kind of secret place where she could be hiding. He went to the back of the restaurant where they had a kind of storage room, and that's where they unfortunately found Ashley's body. She was inside a large plastic container, and there was a lot of salt on top of the body to keep it from smelling bad. They found this container on the roof. It had a kind of secret opening, like those ceilings you see in movies that you can lift up a little and hide things inside. When they found the body, the officers arrested both parents and took them to the police department, where they were interrogated. The father told the truth from the beginning, while Ming Ming didn't want to talk. And the time she did speak, she seemed very cold and unconcerned, while the father looked guilty and very nervous.
Did you and your wife both agree on putting her there in that container?
We talked about places, and I said this is probably the best place to do it.
After a long time in the interrogation, Ming Ming finally confessed. She said she took her own daughter's life. She did it with her own hands and hit her twice on the head.
What happened to Ashley? How did she die?
I'll kill her.
You killed her?
Yeah.
How did you kill her?
I just kill her.
What'd you kill her with?
My hand?
Did you hit her?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you hit her?
How?
Yeah.
Use hand to do that?
Ang, the father, said that his wife was very upset and for that reason hit their daughter against the floor.
I went there and hit her head on the carpet, 2 times. And I said, "You see, daughter," and that's when we realized she's gone.
This happened in the apartment. Then they took Ashley's body up to the car and just drove to the restaurant, where they planned to get rid of the body later. But first, they had it hidden, and that's why they put it in the container. One of the detectives asked the father what their plan for the body would have been if they hadn't been caught. And the father said this.
We don't really know. Those 3 things: I burn it, bury it, or throw it in the ocean.
Ming Ming didn't intend to take her daughter's life, but she was very upset with her because she pooped in her diaper. She was scolding her and yelling things like, "You're 5 years old, because you don't know how to use the bathroom?"
We always do something, bad things, sometimes when we're angry.
She hit her twice, her head against the floor. The floor was carpeted, but even so, those blows were strong enough to take her life. Liang said that Ashley was breathing, that there was no blood or anything, so they thought she was going to be okay. But then her heart stopped beating. So her dad started giving her first aid. He said he did this for a long time, maybe between 15 and 30 minutes.
We actually took her immediately over to the bathroom since she had started vomiting quite uncontrollably. This green stuff came out.
She told her husband to take care of it, and then they went to work for hours as if nothing had happened. People ate at the restaurant without knowing that the body of a little girl was in the storage room. Ashley had only recently started living with her family because she had been living with her grandmother in China. So her parents really didn't have a relationship with their little daughter since she had been living in another country and hadn't spent much time with them. But when she finally moved in with them, the problems began. Ming Ming specifically had no patience for her daughter. She said that her daughter drove her crazy, that she didn't behave and was very rebellious. The parents' plan was to use their other daughter as an alibi. That's why they picked her up from school, so she could see her sister sleeping.
bring her to a restaurant so everyone could see her. So that when we called a show, you would see that she's sleeping there and she's very pale and, she's sick. So the 6-year-old wouldn't lie like that and...
Both parents were jailed while the investigation continued. Experts pointed out that Ashley had died 12 hours before her father called emergency services. The charges they would be tried for were involuntary manslaughter, obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse. Leanne took a plea deal, pleaded guilty, and testified against his wife. And since he wasn't the one who hit Ashley, he received a 12-year sentence. Ming Ming received 22 years in prison, which he will serve in the United States, but after that, he will be deported to China. The other daughter was placed in temporary foster care, where she will stay until she turns 18 or her father gets out of prison, which I understand will be the same year. Do you remember how when the dad called 911, he kept making mistakes while talking? That's because he was lying. Every time you tell an elaborate lie, your brain takes a little longer to speak or to process what you're going to say, and that's why you tend to drag out words or use a lot of filler sounds like it. And the man was doing all of that. Whereas when he was in the interrogation and wasn't lying, he spoke fluently. The times when he paused were to think and remember what had happened. He was also making a lot of gestures to express the things he was describing. By the way, during the interrogation, the parents often referred to Ashley as that. They didn't say she, they said that. And maybe they did it because they were referring to her body instead of her, but they were probably doing it because they felt detached from Ashley, from their own daughter. Maybe it was because she hadn't lived with them and had lived in China. But apparently, Ming Ming didn't get along with her daughter at all. As I mentioned, she said Ashley was very rebellious and didn't obey her. And besides, it doesn't seem like she felt any kind of remorse for what she did to her own daughter. People speculate that maybe Ashley had a disability or illness since she was 5 years old and didn't know how to use the bathroom. She also had communication problems. Maybe she had autism, or at least that's the strongest theory or the one most people speculate about. In other words, probably her family didn't know that, and that's why they didn't have patience with their daughter, because they didn't know she might have had an illness. It's known that in some Asian cultures, not much importance is given to certain mental or psychological illnesses. So maybe Ashley had one, and because of their culture, they never took her to a doctor to get diagnosed. Outside the restaurant, family acquaintances and, in general, people from the community placed flowers and stuffed animals to commemorate little Ashley. And that's all the information about this case. Please leave your opinion in the comments section, because I love reading them. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, you should subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video.